Emma Carter and Daniel Walker were the golden couple of Brookside, their wedding day a perfect celebration until the bride was found dead in her wedding dress, her blood staining the garden path. Emma Carter's wedding day was supposed to be the happiest moment of her life. The culmination of a year's worth of meticulous planning, it was a day filled with anticipation, love, and excitement. Brookside, a quiet, close-knit town nestled in the countryside, buzzed with the news of the event. Emma, a beloved schoolteacher, and her fiancé, Daniel Walker, had been the town's golden couple since their high school days. Their love story, marked by years of unwavering devotion, was the kind people admired and envied. The day began as perfectly as anyone could imagine. The morning was filled with laughter and happy chaos as Emma and her bridal party prepared at her childhood home. She looked radiant in her lace gown, a dress she had chosen with her mother's tearful approval months earlier. Everything about the day seemed charmed. The weather was clear. The chapel was stunningly decorated with blush roses and white lilies, and the guests were all smiles as they arrived to witness the couple's union. The ceremony at Meadowview Chapel was an emotional affair. Emma's father walked her down the aisle as a soft instrumental rendition of her favorite song played. The look on Daniel's face as Emma approached was one of pure adoration, a moment captured by every camera in the room. Vows were exchanged with trembling voices. Tears glistened in the eyes of family members, and the chapel echoed with applause as the couple sealed their promises with a kiss. For a fleeting moment, it felt as if nothing could ever go wrong. The reception at Bloomfield Estate was equally enchanting. Nestled in a sprawling garden, the venue boasted manicured lawns, twinkling fairy lights, and a grandeur that added to the magic of the evening. Guests dined on gourmet dishes, sipped champagne, and danced to the tunes of a live band. Emma and Daniel's first dance as husband and wife was a vision of romance, their smiles radiating the kind of joy only true love could bring. As the evening unfolded, laughter and music filled the air. The couple mingled with guests, posed for photos, and enjoyed the celebration of their union. The clock ticked closer to midnight, and the night seemed destined to end on a high note. But amidst the laughter and cheer, no one noticed the subtle shift in the atmosphere. It began with Emma excusing herself from the reception area. She told a bridesmaid she needed a moment of quiet in the garden. A few minutes later, a faint cry pierced through the music, followed by a chilling scream. Guests rushed toward the sound, their joyous expressions replaced with confusion and fear. The scene they stumbled upon was nightmarish. Emma's lifeless body lay on the marble pathway near the fountain, her pristine white dress now streaked with crimson. A single stab wound marred her chest, and her face, once alight with happiness, was frozen in a look of shock and pain. The reception turned into chaos. Guests screamed, some fainted, and others tried to shield themselves from the gruesome sight. The police were called immediately, and the estate was cordoned off, transforming the festive venue into a crime scene. The night, once brimming with celebration, became a chilling mystery that would haunt Brookside for years to come. Emma Carter, the bride everyone adored, casting a shadow over what was meant to be a celebration of love. The serene beauty of Bloomfield Estate now served as the backdrop for flashing police lights, yellow tape, and frantic detectives combing the scene for clues. The joy and laughter of earlier hours were replaced with whispers, speculation, and shock. Detectives carefully examined the garden where Emma's body was found. Near her, they discovered a knife bloodied and ominous, partially hidden in the bushes. It seemed to be the murder weapon, but it offered no immediate answers. The handle bore no fingerprints, as if the killer had planned meticulously or wiped it clean in a panic. Forensic teams collected fibers, footprints, and other possible evidence, but it was clear this would not be a simple case to solve. The guest list provided a starting point. Over 100 friends and family members attended the wedding, each a potential suspect or witness. Detectives began conducting interviews, starting with the bridal party. While the bridesmaids and groomsmen expressed shock and sorrow, cracks began to form in the picture-perfect narrative of Emma's life. A bridesmaid, who was also a close friend of Emma's, revealed a startling piece of information. In the weeks leading up to the wedding, Emma had been receiving anonymous threatening letters. The notes, written in uneven, scrawled handwriting, warned her to call off the wedding or face the consequences. Emma had dismissed them, laughing them off as a cruel prank. Now, the notes took on a chilling significance. Daniel Walker, the groom, was questioned next. While visibly shaken and distraught, he was not above suspicion. Detectives learned that Daniel and Emma had argued days before the wedding. According to a neighbor who overheard the confrontation, Emma had accused Daniel of hiding something from her. The argument grew heated, with Emma allegedly threatening to end the relationship if she discovered the truth. Daniel denied this during questioning, claiming it was a minor disagreement blown out of proportion, but his alibi for the time of the murder was unconvincing. He claimed he had gone for a walk to clear his head, a statement no one could corroborate. As the detectives delved deeper into Daniel's background, they unearthed troubling details. 6 years earlier, Daniel had been implicated in another mysterious case. The former girlfriend had vanished under suspicious circumstances, and while no evidence linked Daniel directly to her disappearance, the case remained unsolved. This revelation cast a long shadow over his character, and many began to wonder if Emma had uncovered something about his past that led to her untimely death. The investigation expanded beyond Daniel. Other guests had their own motives and secrets. Tensions ran high as detectives pieced together fragments of information. What had initially seemed like a crime of passion now hinted at something far more complex. With every lead they followed, new questions arose, and Emma's seemingly perfect life unraveled into a web of lies, betrayal, and hidden animosities. The image of her as a beloved schoolteacher and bride gave way to one of a woman surrounded by secrets she never lived to reveal. As the investigation deepened, Emma Carter's murder became less a straightforward tragedy and more a labyrinth of secrets, lies, and potential motives. The guests at the wedding, once viewed as witnesses to a joyful union, were now scrutinized under the harsh lens of suspicion. Everyone had a story, and some stories didn't quite add up. Detectives quickly realized Emma's life had more complexities than anyone initially admitted. Jessica, the maid of honor and Emma's closest friend, was one of the first to fall under suspicion. Jessica had been by Emma's side through every milestone, from childhood to adulthood, and was privy to Emma's innermost thoughts. Her grief seemed genuine, but her personal diary, uncovered during a routine search, told a different story. The diary revealed deep feelings of envy and bitterness toward Emma. Jessica had harbored a secret infatuation with Daniel, the groom, for years. She felt overshadowed by Emma, resenting her for always being in the spotlight. In the days leading up to the wedding, Jessica wrote of feeling excluded and hinted at a growing frustration with Emma's perfection. Detectives wondered if these emotions had boiled over into something deadly. Suspicion also turned toward Ryan Walker, Daniel's older brother. Ryan had always been a polarizing figure in the family. Known for his temper and erratic behavior, he was seen drinking heavily during the reception and disappeared for extended periods throughout the evening. Several guests noted his uneasy relationship with Emma, who he openly blamed for pulling Daniel away from the family. When questioned, Ryan admitted to being in the garden shortly before Emma's death, but claimed he was simply smoking a cigarette. His hostility toward Emma and his presence near the crime scene made him a prime suspect. Another figure who caught the attention of investigators was Alex Reed, the wedding photographer. Alex was a last-minute hire, recommended by a mutual acquaintance. While his work seemed professional, a deeper dive into his background revealed troubling patterns. Alex had been fired from a previous photography job for inappropriate behavior toward a bride, including stalking her after the wedding. A search of Alex's home uncovered hundreds of photos of Emma, many taken without her knowledge at public events. Alex claimed he was simply capturing beauty, but his obsession raised red flags. As the pieces came together, Emma's past also surfaced with new implications. She had been a private person, but some guests recalled moments when she had confided in them about feeling uneasy in the months leading up to her wedding. She had expressed doubts about her relationship with Daniel and fears about someone watching her. A bridesmaid recalled a cryptic comment Emma made, "I feel like I'm being followed," but I don't want to ruin everything by overthinking. The more the detectives uncovered, the less certain they became of who was responsible. Each suspect had motive, opportunity, or both. The once clear image of Emma's idyllic life shattered, replaced by a complicated web of relationships fraught with tension, obsession, and buried resentments. The evidence seemed to implicate everyone yet exonerate no one, leaving investigators with more questions than answers. Emma's death was no random act of violence, it was personal. The investigation into Emma Carter's murder had reached a standstill. Despite the mounting suspicions surrounding various individuals, the evidence was circumstantial at best. Detectives were beginning to fear the case might go cold until an unexpected witness emerged, offering a sliver of hope. The witness was Ethan Miller, the young ring bearer and nephew of the groom. At just 8 years old, Ethan had been largely overlooked during the initial questioning. But as detectives revisited the guest list, they decided to interview him in the hopes of uncovering something new. What Ethan revealed would change the course of the case. Ethan recounted that while playing near the garden on the night of the murder, he saw Emma walking toward the fountain. Moments later, he noticed a lady in a blue dress following her. According to Ethan, the two appeared to be arguing. He couldn't hear what they were saying, but he remembered Emma looking upset and the woman gesturing angrily. Ethan's statement was specific. He distinctly remembered the blue dress because he thought it was pretty but scary. This revelation sent detectives back to the guest list, searching for a woman in a blue dress. It didn't take long to identify Martha Hayes, a longtime acquaintance of the Carter family. Martha had attended the wedding alone and kept a low profile during the event. Initially overlooked due to her quiet demeanor, she was now thrust into the spotlight as a key figure in the investigation. When detectives brought Martha in for questioning, her calm facade quickly began to crack. Martha admitted to being in the garden around the time of Emma's death, but claimed she went there to get some air after feeling overwhelmed at the reception. However, her story began to unravel when detectives pressed her about her relationship with Emma. As it turned out, Martha and Emma had a contentious history. Years earlier, Emma had exposed Martha's involvement in embezzlement at a local nonprofit organization. The revelation led to Martha's arrest and complete ostracization from the community. While Martha insisted she had moved past the incident, her presence at the wedding was odd. She and Emma had not been in contact for years, so her appearance on the guest list raised questions. The evidence against Martha began to mount. Surveillance footage from the estate showed her lingering in the garden long after most guests had returned to the reception. A search of her car uncovered a pair of gloves with faint traces of blood on them. Forensic analysis confirmed it matched Emma's. Despite these damning findings, Martha vehemently denied killing Emma, insisting she had only confronted her to clear the air. The detectives were torn. Martha's motive and proximity to the crime scene made her a strong suspect, but some elements didn't align. The bloodied gloves seemed too convenient, almost as if they had been planted. Moreover, Martha's demeanor suggested guilt over something. But was it murder? Just as they prepared to formally charge her, another piece of evidence surfaced, shifting the investigation in an entirely unexpected direction. As the case against Martha Hayes solidified, detectives believed they had finally found Emma Carter's killer. Her motive, proximity to the scene, and the bloodied gloves seemed to seal her fate. The community was reeling, struggling to reconcile the image of a quiet, unassuming guest with the brutality of the crime. But just as the case seemed closed, a shocking twist emerged, unraveling everything investigators thought they knew. The breakthrough came during a forensic re-examination of the murder weapon. The knife, previously thought to be devoid of usable evidence, was found to have a faint partial fingerprint on its blade. Advanced techniques revealed it belonged not to Martha, Daniel, or any of the previously suspected individuals, but to Jessica, the maid of honor. This discovery sent shockwaves through the investigation and forced detectives to reevaluate their understanding of the crime. Confronted with this evidence, Jessica finally broke under pressure and confessed to the murder. Her confession painted a chilling picture of jealousy, obsession, and betrayal. For years, Jessica had harbored unrequited feelings for Daniel. Watching him propose to Emma, the woman who seemed to have everything Jessica wanted, had filled her with rage. While Jessica had always maintained the outward appearance of a supportive friend, resentment simmered beneath the surface. The final straw came when Emma confided in Jessica just days before the wedding. Emma had discovered something troubling about Daniel's past, though the details were never revealed. She told Jessica she planned to leave him after the wedding, believing she could not go through with the marriage. Jessica saw this as an opportunity if Emma left Daniel. Perhaps he would finally turn to her. But Jessica's feelings took a darker turn on the wedding day. Seeing Emma in her gown, glowing with happiness, pushed Jessica into a spiral of envy and anger. When Emma excused herself to the garden, Jessica followed her under the pretense of having a private conversation. Once they were alone, Emma reiterated her doubts about the marriage, revealing she intended to annul it immediately after the honeymoon. Jessica saw this as a betrayal, not only to Daniel but to their friendship. In a moment of uncontrollable rage, Jessica lashed out. She had hidden the knife earlier in the evening, intending to use it only if her emotions got the better of her. The confrontation escalated, and Jessica stabbed Emma in a fit of passion. Panicking, she wiped the handle clean and discarded the knife in the bushes before rejoining the reception, pretending nothing had happened. Martha's involvement, Jessica revealed, was pure coincidence. Jessica had noticed Martha near the garden and saw her as a convenient scapegoat. By planting the gloves in Martha's car during the commotion, Jessica tried to divert suspicion. It was a calculated move born of desperation. Jessica's confession shocked the town. The betrayal of someone so close to Emma added an even darker layer to an already tragic story. Jessica was arrested and sentenced to life in prison, but the damage she caused lingered. Emma Carter's murder became a cautionary tale of envy and obsession, a reminder that even the closest bonds can hide devastating secrets. Bloomfield Estate, once a symbol of joy and love, now stood as a chilling monument to the cost of unchecked emotions and the fatal consequences of hidden desires.